Hey, everything under the sun has its good and not so good side. And today's conversation is going to be about the money market funds or the pros and cons of having a money market fund as your investment option. I'm really not sure if I should start with the bad side first or the good side first, but then my son would want me to start with the good news before I go to the bad news. So before we get started, thank you so much for taking your time to watch MoneyVersations. And for those who are coming back to watch again and again, shukran sana. You're the reason why content keeps getting better. And if you're yet to subscribe, please take that moment and press that subscribe button, because as we grow, the content keeps getting better. Welcome in advance to the fastest growing community, where financial literacy is the core of our conversations. Well, let's get started with the good side of having a money market fund account. The number one thing that makes money market funds stand out, or the reason that makes them a very good option for your investment, is security, where the levels of security that have been put on a money market fund account, I think really make it stand out. Considering the fact that they have regulations, they have the extent to where you can put money and to what percentages, the levels of oversight that they have, considering that the fund manager who runs the accounts does not have access to your money because there's a custodian, and then there is a trustee who ensures that everything is played by the book, keeps your money in a secure place and gives you different and several layers of protection, making them one of the best places to enjoy security of your money. The second good thing about the money market fund accounts is their flexibility. Imagine you're not restricted to what amounts you're supposed to deposit every other month, every other day. You are not restricted to the frequencies that you should use to deposit money to your account. That gives you the freedom whereby if you're capable to deposit millions, you can do that. If you're capable of depositing billions, you can do that. If you are in the thousands level, you can do that. If you're in the hundreds level, you can still do that. That flexibility itself makes it a very favorable place or choice as an investment option, considering that other options can only give you a fixed amount. You're going to save 3,000 every month, you're going to save 5,000, you're going to save 15,000, or perhaps some will not even give you the option to save every day, to deposit money or do top-ups anytime that you want. For example, if you're on treasury bonds, once you do the first deposit, that is it. You cannot do any further top-ups. If you're in treasury bills, the same thing. In SACCOs, they will tell you you're going to pay every month this amount of money. So this particular option, the money market fund, allows you to have the flexibility whereby you got some money that you didn't spend, you can deposit it to your account and it starts earning from the following working day. So that makes it a very good option for someone to consider in investing. The third good thing about the money market funds is the compound interest. Why would the compound interest be a good thing in the money market funds? Because every day it compounds on a day-to-day basis. Today, the money that went to the market will come back with a return. By tomorrow, it will be the principal that I had plus the return that it has already accrued in the market, and that becomes the opening balance for tomorrow. So by the time we're going to the market tomorrow, we are going with what we had yesterday plus the interest ya jana, and this goes on each and every day, unlike other options whereby you have to wait for 6 months or a whole year for you to get an interest once. So this ensures that my interest keeps growing at a rate which is faster than the options that are giving me a simple interest plan. The fourth good thing about the money market fund accounts is the liquidity. Liquidity in which sense? I mean the ability for me to be able to access my funds in the shortest time possible without necessarily having to give up my interest. So the ability for me to withdraw in a short notice, this makes them suitable for emergencies or saving towards my goal. For some assets or some investment options, I have to wait until the end of the year. For some, I might not be able to access my money because it is in form of shares, so I have to dispose of my shares to another member, or just find another way to dispose those shares, perhaps at a loss. For some, the term has to expire if it was 5 years, if it was 10 years. So the ability that I can make my finances liquid in a very short notice in case I bump into an emergency makes money market fund again a better option in investments. One more good thing before I go to the bad side of these funds is that they have stable returns. There are other options of investment where the money will get in today as 1 million, then the fund value will drop, and the next time I'm checking my statement, the statement will be showing me something like 800,000 or 500,000 because the share prices dropped. So in money market funds, I know my capital will be preserved and whatever I'm getting will be on top of what I deposited. So it makes it a better option to do accumulation. As I plan towards my goal, at least I can plan with it based on the returns that I'm seeing or the average returns that we are receiving. It is easy for you to make plans around the money that you are investing. And I know 6 months from now, I'll averagely have this amount of money. Unlike other investments, where 6 months from now, you're not sure if even that amount will still be there. And now, are we ready for the negative or the not so good side of these funds? Well, when we're talking about the not so good sides of the money market funds, I'm going to touch on 4 main areas, and I'm going to look at perhaps how you can mitigate and go around them in particular. So the first thing that money market funds might not be able to help you with is loans. I know we are Africans and Kenyans in particular, and we love getting access to funding to be able to do a few things here and there. People will save money, and the thing that they'll keep asking is something like, am I going to be able to get financing? Will I get a loan? Will I get something like asset financing? Will I be able to start with ×3 the savings that I've put in place? So unfortunately, in the money market funds, you are not going to be getting loans from the fund managers. Although in some situations, there have been these cases whereby you can use your investments as collateral to get financing from a different financial provider, say like the bank or something else like that, by using these funds that you've invested on this side here as collateral. But particularly your money market fund, or perhaps you are saving and thinking that you're going to get 3 times or 4 times your loans as you could do in the SACCO, then that is the part where you need to think and reorganize how you're going to be doing your savings. So if you have the part of wanting to access some loans, then I think you need to split your savings in a way that put 70% in your money market funds and then put 30% in a SACCO where you can be able to get the loans or the financing in case you need to access it. The second thing that is not so good about the money market fund accounts is something that was good in the pros, that is flexibility. As much as the flexibility side is a good thing, again, it can end up being a negative thing, especially when we are working with a goal. I know we all come from different kind of backgrounds where some of us have been brought up with good discipline. When we decide to do something, when we set up a goal, we are going to follow it until completion. But for majority, we always write in the CVs and say that I work well under minimum supervision. But the truth is that most of us need thorough supervision for us to be able to keep to a discipline over a given period of time until we achieve a specific goal. Yeah, so having this kind of flexibility that I can deposit every day, I can deposit once in 3 months, I can deposit once in a year, and nobody's going to follow me or ask me. After all, it's my money. That kind of flexibility is not good for some people. So this is the part whereby you need to bring yourself to a meeting and commit to keep to a specific frequency that you've decided, whether it is a thing of I earn, I save 20%, I earn, I deposit 10%, and keep keep to that. That is the only way this flexibility thing will be a pro for you. But if you do not control that side, it is going to be a con for you, because you will open your money market fund account, you will deposit your first 100 bob or your first 10,000, and you're not going to deposit another one until the year ends, and then you'll be like, I didn't reach my goal. The third not so good thing about the money market fund account is also something that was on the good side of the story, and that is the liquidity. Hey, this is the part whereby I'm sure you've seen these memes where people say something like, hey, mimi bana ua, I save my money and then my money saves me. So this is the part whereby you save nicely, you deposit your money into your investment account, you've pick that challenge. I'm going to go for the 52 weeks challenge. I'm going to do the 12 months challenge. I'm going to do the 24 months challenge. I want to go to the milli challenge. I want to save 1 million. And then you save for 2 weeks. Alafu sherehe fulani kitokezea. The first place that you're thinking of, because you do not have enough lot in your pocket, your money market fund account. You're already there, and especially now that you can actually withdraw and instantly it's on your phone for some companies. Hey, that makes it another disaster. That is also another area that you need to tame as an individual if you're going to achieve your goals. It is a good thing, but it's more like fire. One side can work for you well, and on the other side, if you do not take care, it will burn you. So it's not a place to save money so that it saves you tomorrow when you don't have an emergency but have a need that you think is important, but it's not that very important. Take caution of that. Last but not least, this is the place that many people end up fighting about, and this is the slow growth in the money market funds. I know we can talk about 20% return on investment, 10%, 15%, and it sounds so huge, but wait until you see the numbers or the figures on your statement where it looks like cents, shillings, and then if you are not patient, you'll start looking at it as, this is like a wastage of time. Of course, I know that for some of you, if you took your 10,000 and deposited it in shoes, you will get a bigger or better return on investment once you dispose those shoes off. So necessarily having your money in the money market fund accounts, if you're going to compare it with that kind of investment, it's not going to be a good place for you to keep your money. Because if I have 1 million and I bought 2 tuk-tuks, for example, I will be making an average of 2,000 per day from my assets, and so over the month I would have made 60,000 or thereabout. And if you take a few expenses out of it, I'll have at least 50,000 bob made from my 1 million. And if you compare it with the money market fund account, I would have only made about 10,000 bob for that whole month. So it does not really give you that get rich quick kind of feeling, which now in this case I think is the negative side of it, because I wish there was a way that I could just put my money in the money market fund, and then by the end of the month it is giving me like 50% return on investment and my money grows very quickly. So the thing about it is to understand that it is not a money maker, and I keep saying this all the time. This is a place where I will keep or preserve my money safely as I accumulate it, or as I wait to grow it, to diversify it in different aspects of investments, or just the place whereby I'll be satisfied with the 15% that I make or the 18% that I make. Because after all, if you compare it with other investment options, that return that you get is still so much more, including real estate. You could be making so much more in money market fund better than the real estate. So the point that I wanted to put across is that it is not always rosy. It is not always pros in the money market fund accounts. Those same things that could be good for you can turn around and become nightmares. You only need to put in the right attitude, the right mindset, and go for your goal, which is accumulating and growing your funds. I hope you've learned one or two things. Please share this with your friends and colleagues. If you've not subscribed, make sure that you've pressed that subscribe button. Make sure that you leave the feedback or a comment, a question, or any other topic that you'd like to hear me talk about in the future videos, and I will definitely tag you in the same. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. And happy investing, and keep growing and keep winning.